Welcome back, everybody, to Brown Bag Bets, powered by BETSPERTS. We are your daily dose of quick hit handicapping and sports betting picks. I'm Alex Christenson, and joining me, as always, Mr. Andy Molitor. Now, Andy, I believe that you and Drew got really close to, breaking the second half bet barrier. I don't know what we're going to call it, but couldn't quite get the team total over in under 5 minutes. It took 5 minutes and 15 seconds, you said?
Yeah, watch out, Bud Yeager. We're coming for that. Is that who it was? Is that his first name? Chuck Yeager. Chuck Yeager. I said
I'm not
Bud
entirely
Yeager.
sure who you're even talking about.
He was the guy he set some land speed records, but yes, that was a gorgeous little bet as they go down and score first and the I don't know why I said Bud. I'm gonna have to see if I know a Bud Yeager. That's gonna bother me all day. Either way, yeah,
It's
we
like an
did bet
alcohol thing. You're thinking Budweiser, Jaeger. I don't know.
we
Again,
did
I'm lost.
Yingling. We did yeah, we conferred and we said he liked the over. I was leaning towards the under. It's funny, it ended up going over by a half point, so that line turned out to be pretty sharp. He liked the Rams. I didn't disagree. So Drew and I landed on Rams team total. And after the turnover and score on the second drive of the second half, we just went to bed and called it. So congrats to anyone who hung out with us. Congrats to anyone who took the Rams money line. Congrats to just anyone who made it through the day, man. It's Tuesday. Mondays aren't easy. Um, we almost got a big old tennis dog last night. She made it to the third set, which is sweat enough, but I obviously put more on the total. So that came out on the
Total was
plus.
smooth.
Yeah, came out on the plus side there. Yeah, once we had the first set over, it was a push at worst, while either from retirement or a bageling in the second set. So congrats, nice little play by you there. That was super easy. We'll have some more tennis today. College hoops. We don't talk about what happened yesterday because
Or NBA.
things like that happen sometimes where there's 40 points in the last 3 minutes of a game that had 48 in the whole first half. So if anybody, and I know some people in the Slack chat, the golf Slack chat, were talking because those degenerates cannot resist a game that starts at noon. There was some talk of the under, and a bunch of people did pile on under 58 first half, which I think again cleared by like 10 points, pretty easy. So congrats to anyone there. And then my second bet did get home. Rhode Island trucked last night while we watched football, and yeah, we'll have some tennis, basketball, golf, and more today. Start with Limo because I don't know what time I put this first because I feel like some of these might start soon.
They're all tomorrow, actually. I
Oh
think a
God!
couple were supposed to be today. Yeah, the first round's going to be done on Wednesday. I mean,
All
it's
right.
it's tennis in December, folks. We take what we can get. Do have one new bet. The two at the bottom we'll talk about. I talked about the last couple days, so I'll just touch on those briefly. Christina Bukska here at plus 200 against Varvara Gracheva, a number that really kind of surprises me. Gracheva overall probably had a little more solid season, but certainly not on such a quick surface as we're playing on today. Indoor is not really a good spot for her. Books really did well indoors. I was kind of surprised looking at it. Being a Spaniard, a lot of people think of them as clay players, but you go back and look, was a really solid hardcourt player all season. I have this around like plus 120, plus 130. Again, hard for me to get close to the 2-1 I'm seeing out there. Some plus 190s out there as well. That's fine too. Anything close to that plus 200 is pretty good. And then Vickly and Sava, we've talked about. Believe that plus 180 is still around. Take a look. It might have moved a little bit, but you've had 2 days. She's going to play Zvera Zvonareva. She beat her last week for us, and I think it's going to happen again. Again, I just can't get anywhere near this number. Jessica Ponchette, little worried about this one. Was hoping the match would be played today. Shuai Zhang off kind of a short turnaround. Either way, even without the short turnaround, I have this much closer than the 2.5-1. It just goes from being a bet I really like to a bet I kind of like. So still don't mind it if you have it. That number's floating around out there. I think she can definitely beat Zhang, who might even just be done for the year anyway. Kind of show up, get whatever check and point she gets for the first round, and head back to Asia and get ready for Australia. So 3 tennis plays for us again. Buxa plus 200 is the only new one. Again, these will all be tomorrow at some point between 4 or 5 a.m. East Coast time and the start of the show. So again, the bottom two you probably already have in somewhere, but Buxa plus 200. Look for that.
I'm down. You know I am. I play these tennis ones. I take what I can get this time of year. Although
Got to do something.
I
I
can
was
get a
gonna
little
say.
college basketball today. I bet some
Speaking of what
college
you could
basketball.
get,
So I had 11
Dan's
last
gonna have to
night.
go to 2 pages on these eventually. This is
Oh man, I should. They won't. Saturday lines would never be out on time on
oh, no.
Friday. The only time I will do overnights is into a Saturday, just because for volume reasons, I'll put some stuff out on Friday night. But yeah, usually I put these out in the morning. A couple of these aren't moving the way I'd like them to. A couple are absolutely moving the way I like to. And really, I'm not going to sit here and explain the reasoning for 9 different plays. All of them are because I run my numbers and I either say this over is too low, this under is too high, this dog is getting too many points, or this favorite's not laying enough. I mean, basically the crux of it here. So, very voluminous day. I'm just going to read them because there's 9 for the podcast listeners. Towson over 127. This is one I believe you can still get this number pretty easily. Austin Pay +6. I think there's actually some sevens out there. I try to put, basically what I'm betting, or the a market available number here for most of these, but I did put this in an hour and a half ago. Houston over 140, 140 and a half. That's one I like. That's probably the only game I'm betting today with a good team in it. The rest of these are not good. If you want to watch basketball tonight, watch the Alabama Memphis game. That is the game to watch on it. I believe 9 Eastern, 8 Central. I think that's a later game. I do have some later games. I'm not 100% sure if these are super late. It was like yesterday. I had no idea really. I was betting a noon game until somebody let me know. Yeah, I don't really take that into account in a lot of these. So these are later. It does look like some of this stuff
see,
is like,
folks, it's not terribly complicated.
yeah, some of this stuff
Tell
is
me
pretty
when the
like
games are.
Cal State Bakerfield, Abilene. See, I had that in yesterday's schedule, but Santa Clara, UC Santa Clara +7.5, UC Santa Barbara -3.5. This one is moving. I'd probably play this up to 5, and that is about it. Like, don't go nuts if this one does start to take off. I know it was 2.5 last night in the overnights. I was sad to see it move a little on me, but I'm still more than happy to get that. Anything under 5. Double Santa schools, very pre-Christmas. Thanks, Patrick. Eastern Tennessee State University, very similar logo to Wisconsin Eau Claire. If anyone wants to look into that, the Blue Golds. Under 141, I think that's pretty much widely available still. Another Tennessee school, the Tennessee Martin Skyhawks, under 143.5. And then Little Rock, Arkansas Little Rock, to be more specific, under 148, and Texas Southern. That is probably my favorite look of the day, and obviously I think it's the one that probably moved already if I had to go take a peek. There's just too many games for me to track all this tonight. This is where I take advantage of a good tracking app like BETSPERTS. I just put them all in there, and then I see how I do. I'm not watching any of these games. Like I said, I'm watching the Bama game, or I'm. It's a real pain in the ass. You know what we're doing? We have children, Alex. Children are a real pain in the ass. So
Very, very
the
time consuming.
children, well, the children need to buy me something for Christmas, and the children need to buy my wife something for Christmas because that makes it.
Oh, so you
So,
and your wife are going to go buy each other some Christmas presents with your kids.
well, no, so I'm gonna go take the kids shopping, and then I'm gonna hand them off to her, and she's gonna take them shopping. So these poor children, they don't have money. Like, it's just us buying each other gifts. It's dumb, but the kids will like it. So that's what I'll probably be doing later this
Gonna do
afternoon
it for
after
the
work
kids.
instead of watching any of this. So hopefully all the hoops go well, and yeah, NBA, onto the NBA, onto the Bros.
The big boys. Kind of a tough night last night. I was looking at it, Andy, and I guess I'll have to point this out. I think that's the most I've ever lost 2 bets combined by. Sixers minus, I think 4 I gave out. They lost by like 25. And then I think I had under 226 in the Houston Atlanta game. I'm pretty sure that touched somewhere in the 240s, 250s. I turned it off and tried to forget what was going on. So nothing.
There's probably been somebody who could answer that question with a 1-1 record, where they said the most I've ever lost 2 games by, and one of them was the Oklahoma City game the other day. Actually won one by 5 points, lost the other one by 70.
I have to go back and look, but it's nice to set personal records, whether they be good or bad. The good news is, though, can't be much worse today. Smaller slate, of course. It's Tuesday night, so we have TNT basketball. There's no NFL football. So the wimps at TNT are willing to let us watch some basketball tonight. Was supposed to be 4 games tonight. Make sure that you're not confused. The Pistons Chicago Bulls game did not disappear. It has been postponed. COVID is everywhere, as I'm sure Andy, you and Drew talked about in the NFL, the NBA just as much. It's all over the place. You guys talked about it a little bit on the stream last night. So that game, it did disappear. Hypothetically, that will be played at a later date. We'll see. So just 3 games tonight. Warriors and Knicks. I'll touch on that quickly. Steph Curry likely to set the 3-point record. If you have tickets to that game, sell them. Apparently, there are people paying just gobs of money for some of those tickets. So you're a Knicks ticket season holder. This might be your chance to kind of pay off the season, if you will, in one fell swoop. But should be a fun game. I actually kind of like the Knicks. The Warriors have been really funky on offense, trying to force kind of as many threes, honestly, as they can to Steph. They seem to be excited about a record that I mentioned in another chat the other day, and I'm curious to hear what you think about this. I mean, is he really breaking a record? I know that technically he is, but the changes in the game, the absolute increase in threes, like, I was trying to think of something else to compare this to. It's like if all of a sudden a 7'5" person like came out and could like jump or something. I don't know. It's weird. I can't think of a good comparison, but it's kind of funny that everyone's getting excited for this record that kind of doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's weird. The game has completely changed. I mean, it's like I don't know if there's a good analog to this. It's because it's not like the rules have changed. I mean, rules have changed, just like in the NFL, the rules have changed to allow offenses to be better. But and the rules have not really changed. It's just the way the game is played more so. And this record's going to be broken. A much more fucking egregious one is any records that's set in the NFL this year for like counting stats because there's 17 games. Like Cooper Kupp's going to break all the wide receiver records, and not to take away from him. Great year, super good year. He's having an amazing year, but he's going to get an extra game to do it. It's like OJ said, and I don't usually lean on OJ as a guy who has had some words of wisdoms or some good ideas, but he's always been adamant about his 2,000-yard season was in a 14-game season. That's pretty.
There's something there.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not the most fun fact about OJ.
But anyway, sorry for the hard left turn. We do actually have 2 picks tonight. It'll be fun. We'll see what.
I forgot you were going to talk.
It'll be fun. Trailblazers team total under 109.5. Just an ugly, slow basketball team. They do have Dame Lillard back, but he really hasn't been good this year. I mean, the offense has been much worse when he's out there. I think, again, they're trying to kind of accommodate him in a season where he's just kind of not himself. They're missing CJ McCollum tonight, who's been driving a lot of the improvements as well. They've got the Phoenix Suns tonight, a pretty solid defensive team, especially DeAndre Ayton is questionable. It's kind of why I went with the team total under instead of the full game under. If Ayton's in, I think there might be a little more points in general, but I don't have the Trailblazers scoring even 106 points tonight, let alone 110. So like the team total under there, 109.5. And then in the same game, the Suns first quarter here. They've been a pretty solid first quarter team, even without Booker, even without Ayton. Overall, it's a team that comes out. Monty Williams puts a lot of emphasis on a good start in the game. They've been a good first quarter team ever since he's been there. This is the money line at minus 110. If you want to lay minus a half for, 105 or plus money, that's fine too. But the minus 110 is kind of nice. You get a push if they tie on the money line there. So 2 picks for us. Blazers team total under 109.5. Suns first quarter minus 110. And it'll be fun to see if Steph Curry can set a 3-point record. And I guess, Andy, it'd be comparable to like all the passing records that everyone set when the NFL said, sure, you can throw the ball forward now. Like whoever the first person to throw for 2,000 yards was.
It's just a completely different game. And again, just like I said with Cooper Kupp, nothing to take away from Steph Curry. He's pretty good. I think we can agree on that. Quick golf pick to close the day out with. Nothing amazing, nothing wild, but I did the golf chat kind of incepted this into me. We often look to the Kordas, the family of the Kordas. If anyone doesn't know, Nellie and Jess and Peter, a brother, Sebastian, plays tennis, but also father, Peter. How familiar are you with Peter? I know you're more of a WTA guy, but you're a student of the game, and you know your history a little. Peter with an R, Korda, was maybe a little quiz. Highest ranking all time in singles for him.
I think he got to single digits, but he was top 25. So I'll say like 17.
Second somehow. I was surprised too. He was a Grand Slam champion. He did win the
Okay.
Australian. He did win the Australian Open once, and he did reach the finals in the French Open. So this is his per playing partner. Back to golf. They're playing this goofy father son daughter son father grandfather father-in-law thing. There isn't a big field. I didn't really do much for outrights in this. It's a goofy one, but this is something I played earlier in the week at -110. It's gotten steamed up. I'd still probably play this price. It's up to 135. I think this is available a few places, but yes, her father is apparently a scratch golfer. Her father is also a rampant cheater. He was dinged for doping at Wimbledon. It those what do you call it? Leopard doesn't change its stripes. That's not at all. A cheetah doesn't prosper.
Spots.
Spots. Either way, he was a cheater. He's still a cheater, I'm assuming. So I like that when I'm betting on it. I've bet on Patrick Reed plenty. I like that when it comes to a golfer. Tom Lehman and his son are from Minnesota. They would never do anything like that. Tom Lehman is not great at his age. He can play here and there. I watch him a little on Champions here and there, but him, and it is not the son who is on one of the tours. It is the younger son who's still going to Cal Poly, Sean. So Corda's over the Layman's for me here, and that'll be probably my only golf bet for the entirety of the weekend until we get back to about 2-3 weeks from now. We'll be Tournament of Champions again.
It's all happening. It's nice. That is the one thing. Golf and tennis, it slows down a little bit around the Christmas, New Year's holidays. So we'll have a couple weeks. We'll try to fill some stuff in. I did want to say in the comment section, Andy, Matt Rooney, our hockey expert, was giving out some futures there. That Drysdale, I don't know how you say his stinking name, but 4-1 on him. Drysdale. Yeah, Matt, and another very smart hockey handicapper we know has, let's just say he's been sending a lot of tweets about how short we all are in general on that. So plus 400 on that looks pretty good. I can't speak to the other ones if I'm being.
I would like Drysdale to win the Rocket Richard for personal
reasons. Name.
Drysdale. So, all right. Hey, if you're in the YouTube, hit the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. If you are part of the chat community, we thank you. If you're listening to this in podcast form, thank you too, I guess. And also rate, subscribe, review, retweet, follow at Brown Bag Bets, follow at Indy MSFW, follow at _Noops, follow us on the BETSPERTS app, download the BETSPERTS app, and check you tomorrow. See how basketball goes.